students, as we know in earlier video lecture, we have studied about the PID. Before that video, we have studied about the data transfer scheme. If we are thinking about interfacing multiple devices with your microprocessor, we have to understand the communication system which is available with multiple microprocessors and microcontrollers. As we know, in every microcontroller or IC designing or with the IC, we need to interface that IC with the multiple devices. For interfacing that devices, we have multiple protocols there. Serial and parallel communication protocols are there, and it is totally depend on the data transfer scheme. So we have understand about the data transfer scheme. Now in this lecture, we are going to further start a discussion with basic type of communication systems, where we are going to understand the types of communication system and why we need this type of communication system in an interfacing network. As we know in the earlier video, we have studied about the PPI, programmable peripheral interface, where we have used a parallel communication. It is a chip based on parallel communication. We are able to increase the parallel pins of your microprocessor by using programmable peripheral interface. With that, we have studied about the PID, programmable interval and timer. We also have a USART, that is universal asynchronous and synchronous transmitter receiver. So this type of IO is based on the basic serial and parallel communication. Okay, so how this serial and parallel communication used to work? With that, we are going to study about the communication system basic types, where we have a simplex, duplex and full duplex type. So this video is totally going to base on the communication system which is available in the market for creating new IO devices, or we are going to use that communication system for interfacing multiple devices. So first, it is further divided into three types according to the transmitting and receiving principle. Okay, so first we have a simplex mode. Whenever we used to think about transmitter and receiver, and we want to transfer data through transmitter and receiver, first mode is there, that is simplex mode. In simplex mode of communication, only transmitter, if we are using a transmitter and a receiver, transmitter only can behave as a transmitter at the single time. Maybe think about that, we have two devices here, that is transmitter and receiver, and transmitter want to send something to a receiver at that time. Only transmitter is going to send the data to receiver. At that time, transmitter is not able to receive something. Similar like that, if receiver want to transmit something, it have to change that. It means we only can send the data between transmitter to receiver. We can't receive the data at that same situation. Similar like that, second type is what there, half duplex. Duplex modes are there. Duplex modes are further classified into two types, that is half duplex and full duplex mode. In half duplex mode, your transmitter and receiver, or maybe your system A and system B can behave like both. Either it is going to behave like a transmitter, either it is going to behave like a receiver. But at a time, they can't behave like a transmitter and receiver. For example, here we have a transmitter, system A and system B. System A want to transfer data to a system B. At that time, system A need to behave like a transmitter and system B is going to behave like a receiver. Only we can see the data. At that time, if system B want to transfer the data to system A, we can't transfer that data. What it means, we are able to transfer and receive the data between system A and system B, but we have a condition there. What kind of condition? At the time, we only can either see or we can receive the data. Because of that, it is called as a half duplex mode. Then we have a full duplex mode. Consider a situation that we have a system A and system B, and system A and system B simultaneously want to see and receive the data. It is possible in full duplex mode that we can see and receive the data between system A and system B in full duplex mode. It normally perform OR and AND. In the sense, you either need to behave like a receiver or transmitter in a half duplex mode, but here in a full duplex mode, system can behave like a transmitter and receiver at a time. Okay, so these are the modes. communication protocols like serial communication and parallel communication. So what is the meaning of parallel communication? We have understand in earlier video about programmable peripheral interface, where we have 24 pins available for interfacing a multiple I/O devices with your microprocessor by using a parallel communication. What is the meaning of a parallel communication? Consider if we have a transmitter and if we have a receiver, then transmitter is able to send a 8 bit of a data parallelly toward a receiver. Receiver and transmitter is grounded with a single pin, and 8 different lines are available there for transferring the 8 bit data. Starts from P0 to P7 for transmission between trials and RS. Similar like that, we have a serial communication with your microprocessor A085. We have 2 pins there, SID and SOD. By using that SID pin and SOD pin, we can communicate, we can establish a serial communication between transmitter and receiver. Similar like that. What is the meaning of the serial communication? In serial communication, we used to transfer data serially, 1 bit at a time, after that 2nd bit, after that 3rd bit. So bit wise we are going to transfer data serially between transmitter to receiver. Now serial communication is further classified or divided into 2 categories. That is, first type of that is synchronous data transfer scheme, and second is asynchronous data transfer scheme. What is the meaning of synchronous and asynchronous? In synchronous transmission, both the transmitter and receiver is synchronized by using a single clock, where in asynchronous communication, transmitter and receiver are asynchronized. Asynchronized in the sense both are provided with a different clock. Okay, so we are going to understand in detail about synchronous and asynchronous communication. So watch this diagram here. In the synchronous data transfer scheme, we have a transmitter, with that we have a receiver. Okay, so asynchronous data transfer scheme is based on character oriented. It is totally a character oriented. We can transfer the character data. Okay, what it means, we can transfer a serial data, serial character data. For transferring that data, we need 2 very important bits there. Whenever we want to establish a communication between TX and RX, both TX and RX need a different clock frequencies. For each rising edge clock to the clock, we are going to see a 1 character of a data. Okay, with that 1 character of a data, between that data, we need to provide a start bit and stop bit. Whenever we want to establish a communication between transmitter and receiver in asynchronous communication, we first have to provide a start bit, and at the end of communication, we have to provide a stop bit. Okay, the start bit and stop bit is what needed here. Then whenever we are transferring any data, at that time this line, transmission line, is placed at a low value, and when we are not transferring any data at that time, your line is placed at a logic value high. During a when we never transfer the data between your TX and RX. The speed of asynchronous data transfer is less as compared to synchronous data transfer. Little bit specification and typical values of your asynchronous data transmission is shown in this table. We have a specification here that first we have a data bit character. We are able to see a data bit and character through this asynchronous communication. The length of that data bit character is in between 5, 6, 7 or 8. Maybe we can transfer a 5 bit, 6 bit, 7 bit or 8 bit of a data characters. Okay, second, stop bit. We need a stop bit and start bit here to end and to start the communication between TX and RX. For that, we have availability of 1 bit, 1.5 and 2 bit of a stop bit. Then we have a parity bit. We support the odd and even parity in asynchronous communication. If we think about the speed of asynchronous, it is depend on the baud rate. So we have a multiple baud rate values available in asynchronous data transfer scheme. The baud rates are 75, 100, 150, 300, 600, 1200, 2000 very important communication and data transfer protocol is there, data transfer scheme is there, that is synchronous data transfer scheme. What is the meaning of a synchronous data transfer scheme? As we have defined earlier, that both the transmitter and receiver are synchronized with signal clock. What it means? Both your transmitter and receiver use a signal clock for during the transmission and receiving. Okay, so watch this diagram. We totally have three different data sets there, or we can call it, we have multiple data sets there, D1, D2, D3 to Dn. So these are based on what statement says. It is famous for transferring the block or packets. It is able to transfer a block of a data, or it is capable of transferring packets of a data. Okay, then before data transmission, special character is transmitted. As we know, in asynchronous mode we need a start bit and stop bit. In synchronous mode we don't need a start bit and stop bit. Instead of start bit, we see a special character, that is character synchronization bit is what we are going to provide with it, and it is called as a synchronized bit or synchronized character is what we are going to provide at the start of a communication. Whenever we want to establish a communication, we have to see a synchronized character there, synchronous character there, and after that we can see the data packets or data blocks. So here we have multiple data packets, D1, D2, D3 to D, and before that we are sending a synchronous character there. Between TX and RX, here we have a single clock. So because of the single clock, both TX and RX is synchronized with each other. Because of that, the speed of synchronous communication, synchronous data transfer is high as compared to asynchronous communication. Okay, next parameter is there. Whenever we want to steal the data in synchronous data transfer scheme, we have to place the line at a logic high value. Line placed at a high value during communication. Then synchronize with the signal clock and a high speed range is available, that is greater than 20k beats per second. 20,000 beats per second is what the fastest or speed of your synchronous data transfer scheme. So in this video we have studied in detail about the modes of communication, that is your simplex, duplex and multiplex mode. These modes are useful in communication system, that is serial and parallel communication protocol. So we have studied about the serial and parallel communication there. In that parallel communication we have studied how parallel communication is going to be established. With that we have studied the types of serial communication, that is synchronous